Chances are you or someone you know has been the target of phone scammers, the most common hoax supposedly involving the IRS. Well, tonight there's news of a major police sting that just might slow those scammers. But first, in this week's Cybersafe Parent segment, a Siouxland woman shares her story of a close call with those very scammers.
It was a day like nearly every other for Dell Tompkins. At least until the phone started to ring.
Hello.
According to the Federal Trade Commission, nationally last year, more than 250,000 scam call complaints came in, with losses in the millions. Luckily, Dell's would-be scammers didn't get a dime.
The first time that I answered the phone, I just had a sneaky suspicion that there was something not quite right, that it was an urgent call and that I had to respond immediately to the investigative division of the IRS within 24 hours, or we will send the local police department. And I thought,
Deputy Vince Dvorak investigates cybercrime here in Woodbury County. He tells me that Dell picked up on something that other people need to remember.
If the person or entity on the other end of the line is making it a time issue, you got to do something now, or that's a red flag right there.
my mother would have fallen for something like this,
And that's what really bothers Dell.
How do these people get away with it? That's what upsets me.
Deputy Dvorak as well, because he says it's usually an uphill battle to find the bad guys.
A lot of times it crosses jurisdictions, whether it be state or even country. If it's out of the country, there's not a lot of hope that we have in following up on this stuff.
Dell ended up getting 6 scam calls that day. She logged all of them on paper. She keeps it as a reminder and shows it off as a warning for others.
Whatever their spiel is, don't fall for it.
Now, here's something to remember. If something doesn't feel right or seem legitimate, just hang up. If it's truly serious, they're probably going to call back. Something else Deputy Dvorak points out is that scam calls usually include any number of prompts. Push 1 for this and 2 for that. He says if that's something you hear, well, never do it. I've posted his full explanation of why that's a bad deal at SiouxlandProud.com. Take a listen. It might just keep you from getting scammed. And as I mentioned, Jenna, there is some really good news tonight because earlier last week, 21 people were sentenced after an investigation. It broke up what's believed to be the largest international phone scam group.
Really?
It went all the way to India. They've pressed charges, and those calls that they were making were very similar to those that Dell received.
It's such good information, though, because if that group's gone, there's going to be another one that pops back up trying to prey on people who are vulnerable, I guess.
Right, especially the elderly, so take precautions.